So, driving back from working the farmer's market. I work on a farm, so I work to the farmer's market selling vegetables. Very fun time. And very meaningful work to be growing healthy food without all these harmful chemicals. But regardless, I have been thinking about forgiveness lately, self-forgiveness. Specifically, two things. One is my previous video, I said something wrong that is not quite what I meant, and it can definitely lead to misunderstandings, misinterpretations. But also I said it incorrectly, like misspoke in a way where most people aren't going to notice, probably, unless if you like really paid attention and really dig into it and think about it. But even still, if you do, you're going to get a very wrong impression. That's like very much not what I meant. And I'm not going to like go into detail like what I said wrong and what I meant by it, because that's like a whole nother conversation and not really relevant. And most people probably won't notice the thing that I didn't phrase quite the way I wanted to. But I mention it because it feels relevant to this. That like I have to understand that like, okay, I'm human. I accidentally spoke wrong, and that happens, and then I can forgive myself for it. And more importantly, the second thing is not do it again, right? I've been thinking about the second thing in terms of lots of different aspects of my life, lots of different things where I may not quite know what is the right way to act in a situation. And so you make a hypothesis, a best guess of which way is best, and you act that way and find out the consequences, and then you just discover if it was a mistake or not. And if it is, then you need to forgive yourself for it. But specifically the second thing being that, to not make that mistake again. Self-forgiveness does not equal condoning that, continuing to make that mistake. It does not equal permission to continue making that same mistake. If anything, it's the complete opposite. Self-forgiveness is only possible when you've learned the lesson and understood that it was a mistake. If you're still making the mistake, you have not learned the lesson yet. And sometimes it takes many times of making a mistake before you learn the lesson. And I wonder why. I don't know why I said it like that, like the tone of voice. I genuinely wonder why, like when it comes to if you're a boss and you have employees, or if you're a parent and you have kids, like how do you get them to learn the lesson faster? Because I really like this definition of learning is changed behavior. Right? If your behavior hasn't changed, then you haven't learned anything. If you do something different as a result of learning, then you have learned. I like that. So if I'm continuing to make that same mistake, well, why didn't I learn it the first time? Why didn't I learn it the second time, third time, blah, 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 blah. Was it that the mistake wasn't causing an issue yet? Maybe it takes many times before it starts to create a problem. Was it maybe making a problem immediately and there was just a lack of awareness around the situation? I think that's probably the more common reason for slow learning. Like if people would slow down and really pay attention and be intentional about their lives and their choices, and I feel like we would learn a lot faster. And so how do you facilitate that? Slow down and dedicate time to analysis, to discussion, to discussion with self, but discussion with others, because sometimes there are things that you can't really see from your limited perspective. Sometimes you need an external perspective to sort of show you what you aren't yet seeing. What just happened? That was weird. It's like something shifted and bumped to the lock button or unlock, but nothing shifted. Anyways, I think that's it. I think that's all of the reflections. That the key thing that I'm really needing to remind myself these days is that self-forgiveness for having made a mistake does not equal permission to continue making that mistake. It's the complete opposite. Question everything.